Hey everybody, it's RC from the Game Grave bringing you my E3 2016 picks. This is the newly unveiled God of War. So what was really interesting about this demo is that they show Kratos interacting with a child. You're assuming it's his son, but who knows if that's actually true. This could actually just be like a kid that he picked up along the way in his adventures or whatever.
Your mother's knife. It belongs to you now.
So obviously he knew his mother in some capacity.
A test.
Not sure if he's actually his real father or not.
Yes, sir.
Then show me what you know. I am hungry.
But this is a completely new take on the God of War franchise, and that is to say the gameplay is a lot different. The setup of the game, the theme, the Norse theme and all that, that's completely different. The only thing that hasn't changed is that Kratos is still a gigantic badass. And I love that he basically is telling this kid, like, listen, we're going hunting because I'm hungry.
Look, tracks. They're fresh.
These people at the Sony conference were really planted there for this God of War trailer, weren't they? They're still hooting and hollering in the background after the reveal. And it was a cool reveal to see Kratos actually come out of the shadows with a huge bushy beard. But
Sorry.
how how funny is it that he basically just goes, "I'm hungry." It's his first words when he walks out of the shadows.
It's just I'm not used to hunting.
So what's good about this demo is it's actually already setting up a story for when the game actually comes out. You'll have an idea what to expect. Kratos is trying to teach this boy how to be a hunter and just a strong warrior like he is.
Only fire when I tell you to fire.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately, the other problem you see here, though, is that Kratos is...
Better.
I mean, I guess he'd be a good leader. He's a good drill sergeant, but I'm not sure that he'd be a great father after all that's happened.
Find it.
And if everybody remembers the whole story with Kratos back in the day, I believe it went that he lost his wife and his daughter, right? Unless I'm getting the story of this confused with the movie Gladiator. I really don't remember. But I was pretty sure that he lost his family. But after so many adventures with Kratos, I mean, he is a completely different man than he was before. I mean, he's fought against, all these different gods. He's fought against all of the Sony mascots. He's even fought in Mortal Kombat, right? He's been around. And he's still pissed off. But as you can tell from the combat there, is a lot different from what the regular games are. He usually has those chain gauntlets that you throw around, and it's mainly about stringing together combos and button mashing. This looks a little bit more disciplined, we'll say.
Then find that deer.
Looks like you actually have to choose what you're doing a little bit more carefully than you did in the past. It's a pretty big departure for people who are used to the series.
Back away, boy.
Gigantic troll thing.
Here's your chance. Show me already.
So it's weird because they've said that this isn't supposed to be considered a remake, yet it kinda is a remake. And longtime fans of the series are going to immediately notice that Kratos' voice is a bit different, because that actually is a different voice actor. I read an article earlier today that confirmed that, and the original voice actor for Kratos was... I don't think he sounded bitter, but he sounded pretty like, okay, I guess that's fine. And he told people on his Twitter, hey, let Sony know what you think type of thing. Not really inciting a riot or anything, but basically saying, hey, fans of the series, if you're not happy I'm not voicing it, you should probably let Sony know. But at this point, it looks like it's too far, you know. I'm sure that the new voice actor has already voiced all the dialogue that they're going to be using, or at least most of it.
I will bring it down. You will kill it.
But what's weird is the voice isn't different enough for you to really get too angry about, I guess. This isn't really like a Kiefer Sutherland, David Hayter with Metal Gear Solid situation. Look at this. The game is still brutal, though. It's still still holds on to that. Oh my god.
Now, boy.
Still holds on to that violent feeling that the game has always had.
Do it.
Not sure why the kid hesitated there, considering he shot it already just a minute ago. Then he shot Kratos in the shoulder. Things are not going to be good for this kid after the fight.
I am so sorry.
Your deer is getting away.
Yes, sir.
I do like that response, though, because he defends the kid, kills a huge troll, treats it like it's everyday business, and just goes, back to the deer, kid. Back to everyday life. Dude's a badass, always has been. Now, as far as my experience with God of War, I have played through the majority of the series. I guess you could consider me a fan of it. I don't think I finished God of War 3 or 2, but I think I played through all the rest of them. And I played through the majority of 2. 3 was the only one that didn't really do much for me. I think I played like a few hours into it and just kind of stopped. Not to say that if I returned to it, maybe I would finish it. But, you know, it did end up getting a little stale for me. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to include this trailer, is that Kratos as a character, you know, he seems cool, but he didn't have a whole lot of story development. It was pretty much like he's really pissed off about the, you know, way life is going for him. And they pretty much rode that for, you know, 5 or 6 games. This actually seems like they're developing some sort of a story with him. So I'm pretty excited to see that. And you're discovering new areas. Looks like you're discovering new things to do in the wilderness. They've confirmed that it's not an open world game, but it definitely kind of looks like one, doesn't it?
No. Finish what you started.
I can't.
I thought that this part was pretty sad too. We don't know anything about the relationship, but they've done a good job showing that Kratos is just, he's calloused. But he's got this boy who's got a lot of heart, a lot of feeling. And it's not just this part with the deer where the kid couldn't kill him, but Kratos helped him kill it. But this part right here where Kratos goes to actually touch his shoulder to kind of console him, and then he decides not to and grabs the knife. Calloused, man. That's harsh.
You are ready.
For what?
But he knows that he's got to raise this kid hard, man. He's got to make sure he's strong for this crazy world. Because as we pan out, I mean, look at this place. This looks nuts. But like I said earlier, I'm pretty excited to play this game when it comes out. And here comes a dragon. A dragon of God of War, of course! How has it not happened yet? There you go, everybody. That is the new God of War. Stay tuned for more trailers from me this E3 2016.